Hello, friends. Welcome to Your Inbox Last Night, the podcast that does the heavy lifting of newsletter reading so you can do lazy things like work out at the gym, drive the kids to school, or clean your bathroom. I'm Scott Tivey, and today is January 14th, 2025. Let's dive into what landed in your inbox last night, and maybe spill a little tea along the way. So let's dive right in and start as we always do with popular industry newsletters. Buckle up, there's a lot. First, Banking Dive. Banking Dive has a story about the FDIC. It dives into what the expected changes are for the coming administration, specifically talking about increased supervisory attitudes toward technology. And Payments Dive. Big moves from the CFPB. They're proposing an interpretive rule to apply the Electronic Fund Transfer Act, EFTA, to you and me, to video game payments. Why? Those sweet, sweet in-game upsells. If this rule passes, game companies could face refund requirements, transaction dispute requirements, and more. There's serious money. But stay tuned because this story pops up again, so keep listening. Moving to digital transactions. It's a big day for point-of-sale tech. There are two stories about POS in digital transactions you should have a look at. Verifone is rolling out a biometric add-on for its terminals, and it does biometrics and a new soft tap feature. Soft tap is another way of saying tap your phone. The other POS story is about Chase rolling out their shiny new terminals. It's part of their, quote, omni-channel commerce move that started in 2024. The JMPC terminals feature your basic swipe, tap, QR code tech, and also some facial recognition software and infrared vein reading palm cameras. I don't know about you, but this screams to me, bro, I just needed toilet paper. I didn't know I was getting an infrared vein scan. Anyone else? Just me? Okay, moving on. Okay, the other story in digital transactions is about two new acquiring gateways. One is a partnership with MasterCard and one is a partnership with Visa. So Freedom Pay with MasterCard, Bluefin with Visa, expanding connectability between acquirers and the gateways. Have a look at that. Finally, Adyen's new optimization app is looked at in digital transactions. The optimization app claims a 90% uplift in shopper recognition. Shopper recognition. That's a pretty bold claim, though it sounds less about transaction approvals and more about customer identification. It's not quite the Payometry method of optimization I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to, but hey, it's a crowded space, right? Bitter? Who me? Never. Okay. Turning to the papers now. And that's Paypers. Here's another take on the CFPB story we mentioned earlier. That last story spoke about the proposed interpretation of the rule to impose the Electronic Financial Transactions Act on video game payments. Now, when it makes another appearance in the papers, this story gets a little juicier. Now we see that the CFPB isn't just interested in World of Warships and Fortnite. They want the EFTA to also cover, quote, stable coins and digital currencies, unquote. So the CFPB seems determined to plant their flag in the digital currency regulation game. No pun intended. To be clear, from the context, I think the CFPB is referring to the coins within the video games and other applications. So like the coins you earn from tending your farm within Farmville, that you then use to purchase a pig. It doesn't seem to me like the Consumer Fraud Protection Bureau is trying to get into crypto regulation. Also, just speculation, but the incoming administration is no friend of the CFPB, so don't count your eggs just yet on this one. But there was still another version of this story causing inbox traffic last night, so keep listening. Digital Transactions also has a story about the delay of India's UPI market share cap. TLDR, it's been delayed until 2026. But you have to read this story alongside the story on the same topic in Finextra. Don't worry, they're both linked in the show notes. But I would read them together. If we learned anything from that last story, it's that the more information you get on a topic, the better. And finally, for my fellow card enthusiasts, here's a spicy little story. Digital Transactions says and if you're tracking EU regulations, this is a big one. There's a report about concerns on interchange fee caps and surcharge bans. The European Court of Auditors is flagging concerns over EU price interventions in the card market there. The timing is interesting, right? My editorial comment right here. In all of last week's episodes, we had stories about the Durbin-Marshall Act, which is coming after card fees here. So one may wonder, is what's happening in the EU spurred by our own credit card act in the US? This is completely my own interpretation, but one wonders if perhaps the battle that's about to happen on Capitol Hill over interchange fees may have spurred the card networks to do a little lobbying in the EU to see if those potential losses could be mitigated. I don't know, folks. That's not part of the story, strictly my own thoughts. Now to our section on crypto and Web3. It's a little light today. From the Defiant, a Hong Kong incubator is launching to oversee banks' blockchain experiments. Meanwhile, Arbitrum might be losing synthetics. And yes, the president-elect's Bitcoin trading cards are back for round 5. Okay, we are hot today. Now it's time for our favorite Substacks. Superhuman shares a killer ChatGPT prompt for analyzing data sets. Definitely worth a look if data wrangling is your thing. If you cut and paste that bad boy into the AI, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see if it was on target. Wrapping up this week in Fintech's highlights potential unicorns in Africa. Their predictions are M-Kopa and Move might just hit the billion-dollar valuation this year. That's just the surface of the piece. There is much more there to see. So if AMEA is your geographical interest, I highly suggest you check it out. Whew, is anybody else thirsty? We aren't done yet. You didn't think we'd skip the tea, did you? It's time to see what Mr. X dug up.
Hey, Michele, it's great to see you heading up the pod instead of just doing all the work behind the scenes. Well, it looks like Amazon's try before you buy Prime service is officially out of style, and not just because they say customers prefer virtual try-ons or their cheeky AI tool, we can guess your size. According to whispers from Retail Dive, the real reason might be a case of logistical whiplash. Apparently, keeping up with the revolving door of returns and restocks turned into a warehouse nightmare. One insider quipped that the program was more about try before you cry. Amazon's fulfillment teams, that is. So now, instead of playing dress up with returns, Amazon's betting on algorithms to save the day. But hey, can an AI really guess your size better than your reflection in a fitting room mirror? Time will tell. Here's a semi-blind item: the surprising state of business friendliness in 2025. In the ever-shifting landscape of business climates, some states are rolling out the red carpet for entrepreneurs, while others seem to be pulling it out from under them. Recent analyses have spotlighted a state traditionally overshadowed by its flashier neighbors, now emerging as a beacon for business. Meanwhile, a once thriving economic powerhouse is grappling with policies that may be sending businesses packing. The rising star. This southern state, often associated with its rich musical heritage and rolling hills, has been quietly crafting a business-friendly environment that's turning heads. With streamlined regulations, competitive tax rates, and a proactive approach to economic development, it's no wonder startups and established companies alike are setting up shop there. The state's commitment to innovation and infrastructure has created a fertile ground for growth, making it a top contender for entrepreneurs seeking a hospitable climate. The unexpected downturn. Conversely, a state famed for its tech hubs and coastal allure is facing scrutiny over policies that some think are stifling business growth. High taxes, complex regulatory frameworks, and escalating operational costs are prompting companies to reconsider their roots. Critics suggest that without significant policy reforms, this state risks losing its competitive edge, potentially driving businesses to more accommodating regions. Spoiler alert. For those piecing together the puzzle, the rising star might just be the bluegrass state, known for its bourbon and horse racing. As for the state facing challenges, think of a place where tech giants have historically thrived, but where the cost of doing business has become a hot topic of debate. In the dynamic arena of business, adaptability is key. States that recognize and respond to the needs of the business community are poised to attract investment and talent, while those resting on past laurels may find themselves left behind. Until tomorrow, I'm Mr. X for your inbox last night. Got something juicier? Send it our way via Signal link in the show notes.
Mr. X, you are giving the people what they want. Well, that's it for your inbox last night, January 14th edition. Thanks for bearing with us as we work out the kinks and find our groove here. Sam and I switched positions today, so let's see if y'all like it. We'll be back tomorrow, so don't stress about keeping up with payments and fintech news. We got you covered. I'm Michelle Tivey, and I'll see you tomorrow bright and early.